is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to you with a quick video. I wanted to let you guys know I got some new merchandise available, not just t-shirt anymore. I got different type of t-shirt, different type of shirts and logos that you can purchase on my spread shirt, and also hoodies now. We have expanded and added more to the channel and more merchandise for the brand. Thanks for supporting. It will be in the description and the links will be in the comment section below. Thanks for helping me and supporting the movement. Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis. I'm going to check out the video. What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to y'all with a quick video. We're going to talk about Steph Curry. I think that he's an interesting topic because I'm watching preseason and they have no Klay Thompson. They have no Kevin Durant, but the Warriors actually don't look that bad in preseason. I did see the Warriors making the playoffs in my own prediction. I think that they have enough. I think that Steph Curry is going to be amazing, and a lot of people think that they're not going to make the playoffs. A lot of people think that they're going to struggle, but the way I look at it is Steph Curry is just such a unique player with his ability to go off screens and be such an elite catch and shoot player. And you don't really need that much because he just make everybody around him better by just making the right play, being unselfish, and just making the right pass when it's needed. And I love Steph Curry for that. And it's just so fun watching him in preseason, seeing how smart he is and seeing how they use him, even though they're not winning a lot of their games. It's still kind of cool to see how competitive they are with him on the court. Now, I know a lot of people saying when he goes off the court, this is one of the worst teams. But I also seen that they're trying to put D'Angelo Russell in there when Steph Curry is resting. And we know that D'Angelo Russell can knock down shots and can be a decent playmaker. He's not the greatest defender, neither is Steph. But I just see how smart that Steve Kerr utilizes his players. I just see with the cuts and with them coming off screens and them making an extra pass, it just looks like even though they're losing, it just looks like they have enough to ultimately win games. And that's all that really matters. They're not going to be the number one team in the West, but they don't have to be because nobody expects them to be great since Klay is gone for the majority of the season. But what they can do is find a way to utilize Steph Curry to the best of their abilities. And he's a guy that can hit big shots and make big plays in those moments. And that's all you really need because those are the games that you can steal. Those are the games that you can win and that can help you make it to the playoffs. You might not win every game, but as long as you have Steph, you have a great chance of winning it or even closing the game out because he's just that great. And I think that that's one thing that I see in Summer League that can basically help them have that confidence that they can make it. Because when they played against the Lakers the first time, they just looked terrible defensively. They had no answers. They couldn't score offensively enough points to really beat that team. Even though I know it was only preseason, it just shows you how much they needed Steph to be Steph for them to be special. But I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. We watched James Harden last year literally just dribble out the clock and shoot as many shots as he wanted to and pass when he felt like it. But it was enough to win them 50 games, and it was enough to get them in the playoffs. Obviously, it's not enough to win a championship, but we did see when Steph, Klay, and Draymond is healthy that they can make a run in the playoffs, and they ended up beating Portland and closing out Houston without Kevin Durant and DeMarcus Cousins. And they do not have the players like Iguodala and Sean Livingston, but they have a lot of players that we don't really know, and we don't really know what to expect from them. But so far in preseason, it seems like they got some decent role players that you can plug around Steph, Dre, and Klay, and that can make them a lot more useful because they have so much gravity and they have so much space on the court that anybody can be great because they can always hit the roller, they can always pull up, they can always come off the screen, and it just makes them so tough to guard, and it just makes them so tough at the end of the day to cover. And I think that that's going to continue even this year. But it is very interesting seeing how they defend and seeing how they make plays. And I like the fact that Steph is one of the most unselfish superstars. If he has it going, he's a guy that can light it up and be just as good as anybody in the NBA, if not the best player in the NBA when it comes to scoring, because he can shoot threes at such a great clip, and he doesn't need that much space to get them off, and he doesn't need that much space to knock shots down. And I think that that's one of the reasons that made the Warriors so tough to guard, especially when Clay comes back, is because they know that any type of room, any type of space, the shots can be knocked down by Steph and Clay. And I've seen so much against Portland, how they swept them. It just, this is a team that once they're clicking, they still can be just as good as anybody, even if they don't have the talent that we thought that they had and what they have lost. But I like the fact that they, at the end of the day, found players that fits the system and found players that can really give them some things that's special. And I like the fact that Steve Kerr hasn't gave up, and Steve Kerr, for them to be hard captain, for them to be stuck a little bit where they at, they still do have enough to be competitive. And even though I don't expect them to win a championship and be a truly contender this year, mainly because we don't know what type of Clay they're going to get, and we don't know if he's going to be close to the defender that he was before. Most people aren't the same after the ACL injury. It's just that much of a big injury, and it just changes the way you play, especially athletically and laterally, and having speed, quickening, and time, and all that has to come back for Clay. And I don't think that that's going to be an easy thing. I don't think that's just something that you get right away. And they already have lost a lot of their defense and a lot of their guys that can switch and guard multiple positions. They no longer have that depth lineup. They no longer have that unstoppableness. Even when we seen last year, Houston beat the Warriors twice. The Clippers beat the Warriors twice. So this is a team that is beatable. But once they start figuring things out, and once they start getting people to buy in and really trust the process and trust the system, I think that the Warriors will be fine. And I remember telling people about the Spurs last year, and I'm telling people, they lost to Dejounte Murray, they lost Lonnie Walker, and I said that they'd be fine. They still going to make the playoffs. Nobody expected the Spurs to win it all, and they obviously got put out in the first round by the Denver Nuggets. But I still felt like with Greg Popovich, and even with just DeMar DeRozan, who isn't the most elite, one of the top 5 players, and neither is LaMarcus Aldridge. But when you have a guy like Pop that knows how to put people in certain areas, that know how to get the best out of a lot of players, at the end of the day, that's all you really be needing to win games. And the whole point of the regular season is to win games so you can make the playoffs. And that's the thing. They had enough to execute. They had enough players just to get to the playoffs. But we knew for sure that the Spurs was not going to win it all. And that ended up happening at the end of the day. So I can see the same thing with the Warriors. Steph Curry gets hot from the fourth quarter, or he makes a clutch play, or he knocks down a couple threes, and next thing you know, they win a game. And those games add up, and next thing you know, you got 45, 47 wins, because a lot of people don't have this Golden State team winning that many games. And I just think that that's crazy, because they might not win 50, and neither did the Spurs, but they also won enough games to get in that top 8, and that's all that matters. You can get in the playoffs, you get a chance to roll the dice and see what you can do against your opponent, and see what opponent that you have. And then the playoffs is all about matchups at the end of the day. So you might get a team that you match up well against, and you have a chance to beat them, or you have a chance to compete, and that's all you really need to make a difference. You got to play the game, and if you play the game, you never know what's going to happen. Nobody expected Kevin Durant, DeMarcus Cousins to go down in the playoffs. Iguodala went down. So that gave Portland a good chance of putting them out, even though they didn't do it. And it just shows you that as long as you got Steph, Clay, and Draymond, you have a chance. And that's the whole point of the video, is just that they're just that great, and they're just that smart, and they understand each other. They know how to get the best out of each other, and they know how to make the people around them a lot better than what they actually are. And it's just because they cause so much chaos and they get so much attention, and they have a high basketball IQ, and they just know the game of basketball, and they understand the game of basketball at the end of the day. they play winning basketball. So I wanted to make this video just to update you guys on how I feel about the Warriors, how I feel about Steph. And the only sad part about it is this team is going to suck without Stephen Curry if he gets injured. He really can't miss that 15, 20 games this year because those are too important in the Western Conference. And if he does that, they don't have enough to really win basketball games realistically, especially with Klay Thompson missing majority of the beginning and a little bit of the middle of the season. And if that's the case, this team definitely won't make it to the playoffs. But what I'm saying is, as constructed, they really do have enough. And a lot of people look at the roster, they look at the names, and they don't know what this guy is. They don't know who this guy plays. But you still got to respect these players because they're NBA players. These are players that can actually play. These players are some of the best players in the world. They may not be as good as Steph. They might not be superstars, but they still guys that can execute and knock down threes, knock down shots, set screens, do dribble handoffs, and help Steph really get his shots. And that's all you really need is guys that fits and plug in with this team, and everything else will figure itself out. Now, obviously, they do need Kevon Looney to stay healthy, and they do need Willie Cauley-Stein to stay healthy because they just don't have the bigs, and they just don't have the rim protection and that guy that can switch. And I think Stein and Looney are those type of guys, and they are going to be very important to the success of this team. And sometimes you just need a big body, and we've seen them get bamboozled by the Lakers just because they can get rebounds and they can just eat them up inside. So I think Looney and Stein would just be more important than what people think, just because they ain't the superstar names or they're not a name like DeMarcus Cousins. People underrate them or they overlook them. But they are guys that putting in the right system and given the right opportunity that can make plays and finish plays and really help and be important to this Golden State Warriors success this season. So I just want to ask the listener, what do you guys think? Do you think that Steph is enough for them to win 45 to 47 games? Because in the Western Conference, that should be enough to make it to the playoffs. And do you think that they can win enough games, even if they below 500 when Klay comes back? He's just such a great shooter. He's just such a great complementary player to Steph and Draymond that he can just knock down shots and just be effective. That might be enough for them to win 45 to 47 games by the end of the season. And all they really care about is having a chance to make it to the playoffs because they really can compete against anybody. And we seen that last year and a couple years before. But they are not going to win it all this year, but this is going to be a tough team next year when they're fully healthy. And if they don't have any major injuries, I think they're going to be right back in that championship contention. And I really want to see what they do in the off season. And I really do still want to see what they're going to do with D'Angelo Russell. And I think those things are going to shape this team and mold this team to what they're going to be for the next 3 to 5 years, since majority of them are under contract. With Draymond Green signing an extension, Klay Thompson signed an extension, and Steph Curry already getting his extension. This can be a very special group, as we all know. But let me know, do you guys think that they can win the title without Kevin Durant, or do you think that that's over and done with? Whatever you think, let me know in the comment section below, because I read every comment, and thanks for watching. Like this video, check out my older videos on my channel. I have many playlists. I break down rookies, I break down players, I break down summer league. I do cover the draft, and I got a mock draft up already. Not only that, I do podcasts, and I also talk about the game of basketball, whether it comes to summer league, free agency, trade deadline, buyouts, and also I cover top 10 discussions and stuff like that. So you like this type of video, you like the NBA, check out my older videos and my playlists. I enjoy making these videos. You guys enjoy watching.